For the Sagittarius female single. So the single Sagittarius female. I use a house of love spread, and I use 3 cards in the roof to signify the next incoming relationship, the next significant thing that's going to come your way. So we highlight that to see, you know, how and whereabouts that might come into play. And then the 4 cards that make up the house are the relationship once it's in full swing. So basically, not highlighting the singleness, right? But highlighting the next significant relationship that comes into play here. So over February, you may be single and not have anyone in your midst, but this will be, you know, may carry on past February into the spring a little bit, March-ish. So I use a romance card and then I clarify with a sexual tarot card, and we just go from there and see what comes out. So the first card I get for the Sagittarius female single is 15, and 15 is the devil, right? And I mean, she's chained, so you may be feeling chained to something, and it's interesting. Or you may be feeling tempted by something, okay? And I feel like this is tempted because the next card I get is the Fool. And the Fool is really taking off in a new direction and not really being bound to anything, right? He doesn't have even any baggage. He's just got this little pouch he's carrying, and he's kind of carefree. So that's the sense that I get, is not so much you being chained, but tempted to go in a direction, and then you end up taken off in that way. So the next card I get is 5, the Hierophant. And the Hierophant really, usually I notice the flower, the symbol of innocence, right? But here it's making me think of the rules and the boundaries, regulations, you know. I feel like the 15 is maybe this air of non-traditional that the Sagittarian female, I feel, is wanting to go in the direction of. I feel like she's kind of been laid down into rules for so long. She's now ready to bust free, and I don't want any rules. I want to go in a different direction, and I'm headed there. You know, don't chain me down. I'm moving, and the Fool is going in that direction. So I think the Hierophant here is really just a symbol of that, of the omittance of that. Okay, so the next card I get to expand on that in the sex side of things is the 5 of Swords, and the 5 of Swords is really indulging in the physical senses. So I feel like that devil is kind of comes out in the bedroom for the Sagittarian female. I think outside of herself in the public arena on the romance side, she's playing it as though, you know, we're a white flower. But with the 5 of Swords, that wild side tends to come out in that area. The next card I get is the 4 of Cups. And the 4 of Cups is really, I mean, there's a man attending to the woman's needs, right? He's bending over to help her out. So we may have a situation here where there is a man who's willing to do that for the Sagittarian female. And the next card I get to expand on that in the sex area is the King of Wands, right? So not only is this guy emotionally, he's emotionally coming out to her, but the King of Wands is all about the passion and fiery levels that are all fulfilled. You know, when I think of the King of Wands, I feel, man, this one's satisfied, you know, because he's wrapped himself around her. They're both naked and they're melting into each other. And I feel like there's nothing left here that's unsaid, undone. Everything's just great. So, somebody coming forward for this Sagittarian female and making themselves available on all levels. Okay, that's the sense I'm getting. Now, as we get into the house here, we get into a relationship once it's in full bloom. Now, the first card I get from the romance side is the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords here is about a feeling of loss, overwhelming feeling of loss, right? Because this symbolizes the coffin type thing. We have this man here that may imply regret. Okay, just the standing of him there is implying that something was regretful. Okay, now moving along to expand on that, we get the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is really on the sexual and sensual side, someone trying to heal another. So there seems like there's been a loss here of something, and it may be, it's interestingly enough, it may be that you lost this heavy connection with this wand person, this person that was bending over backwards for you. You may have lost that connection somehow, and in the meantime you get into a situation where you have someone else coming in to heal you in that way. Now, it might be on the lighter sense of things. You might be having a light dating scenario where there's someone there to tell your woes to, right? To kind of cry on your shoulder, and nonetheless, they're genuinely. So as we move on, we get the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups, again, is about that attending to that woman and not afraid to show it, right? I mean, in both places, he's in public. There's not a tendency to hesitation whatsoever. He's attending to her, and that's it. Now, as we expand on the Seven of Cups, I get the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is really about an overpowering energy in the bedroom. So I feel like this is different than the King of Wands here. I feel like this is different than in the roof. It's like there's been an offer there. For some reason, we want to go in an unconventional way, and we miss that opportunity. Something happens there. And then as we're coming to heal from that, we come across another dude, and that King of Pentacles is different in the bedroom. He's not the compassionate, healing energy that she came across. So I don't know what happened there, but there was a loss nonetheless. Now, the healing from that, then feeling accommodated in that way. The King of Pentacles, a little overpowering in the bedroom. As we move on, we get the Page of Swords. So this is kind of another character out of the blue here. What's going on? Well, this is the Page of Swords. Sorry. The Page of Swords, he can communicate. He's very intellectual, but don't ask for any emotions because it's not there. And in fact, you may not get his attention all the time either. You know, this guy is just, he's blunt, he's there, he's bold, he's kind of got no depth to him. You know, we're talking get the facts, Jack, and move on. So there's a situation here where this guy is involved. And he's a sword, there's a pentacle, there's a wand, you know, it's all different here, different energies. And to expand on the Page of Swords, we get 7, the Chariot. So there may be someone at a distance that you're dealing with. Not only is it at a distance, but you feel distant from. You know, even when they're with you, there's a sense of longing for more here. So there's someone in your energy field anyway. I feel like it's odd. It's like it could be a friend, but there's a lack of emotion here that's almost clinical. So we'll move on. The Chariot, right? Taking note of a distance between somewhere here. You may be still in the dating scenario where you have a few suitors, okay? And that's what's going on here. So there's one at a distance, one that's right there in front of you, trying to help you, rejuvenate you, da da da. And then one that we have that's overpowering the bedroom. And I don't know that those two are separate. So the next card I get is the Four of Coins. And the Four of Coins is about really being admired from a distance. So we have someone here that is admiring you from a distance. Now, are you aware of that? Not too sure, okay? But we have the Four of Coins, and then to expand on that, we get the Four of Wands. So there may be a situation here where you have had a physical interaction with someone that is very good, very grounded, and that is lingering. It seems to be there's about at least 3 suitors here. There's one that has had some kind of a loss attached to it that was very deep and profound and accommodating to you. There's another one that's accommodating to you, but the suitor is not as pleasing to you in the bedroom as the first one was. And then we have one that's way out in left field here, the Page of Swords, who's very emotionally detached. So it may be someone that you confide in that is not necessarily a partner per se, because I get a great distance here. And not only an emotional distance, but a physical distance. So it may be someone at, like I say, at a distance that you confide in that is a male, but not necessarily, or it could be a female. I mean, these are general readings, right? So, but not necessarily someone who is in the picture, full blown. So, and then we get Four of Coins, which is that from afar. So you may also have someone in your field that was from a past, someone that you're rekindling, or someone that you're physical with that may not be with you now, but is admiring you now from afar. Okay? It's kind of a complicated energy here for the Sagittarian females on the single scene. Very much in the dating zone is the feel I get here. And a lot of suitors, a lot of variety. But nonetheless, she's healing from a situation that has had the ability to really destruct a lot of feelings in her. And I don't get a sense of what that is. We may even have a situation where we had a lover pass on, and we are trying to get through that. And it may have been something that was really one of the deepest things we've had in our life. So if that is the situation, I'm sorry for that, because that is just, I mean, that's going to be hard to recover. But nonetheless, variety here, and people are willing to help you through it, and you know, a lot of energy in that way. So that will do you good and help you through this process. In the meantime, I feel like there's no one direction you're overtly going. There's just a lot of options here. A little bit of healing that needs to happen and continue to happen throughout the process. But again, a lot of variety. And you wanting to go in an unconventional way and do unconventional things. There's something that kind of blew here. And if it is somewhat of a relationship that had a passing, it kind of really changed you in that way. Just wanting to go in a different direction and do different things. So whatever way that works for you, I feel like anybody who's really driven to go in a direction like that and feels it passionately, there's no right that anybody can give you to not do that. I think if you're feeling intuitively that you need to do something, there's a reason that you feel it that strongly or you feel it that passionately. There's always a way to move forward. And sometimes our vision of what's right is not the same as what their vision is, right? So you may be going and looking for this unconventional way, feeling motivated from within to do that. And it's there to gain you a lesson that you need to get in order to get the fulfillment whenever it comes to you, whenever it, you know, and it's going to get you there in a quicker way than if you listen to everybody else's opinion and follow everybody else's rules. Because I feel like that's really what's going on here is I've listened to everybody else and I followed all the rules, and what has it got me? Nothing. I'm still here and I'm still whatever. So it's kind of a rebellion, but it's with a purpose in the end. I feel like the Sagittarius female is rebelling against things, but this too is in the path that she needs to gather gather those tools that she needs. So for the Sagittarius female single, there's a lot going on here, and really a busyness within all of that going on, like a lot of stuff to process. And I feel like that wanting to unchain and unlatch from rules and regulations is really needed for her to gather the stuff she needs to get where she ultimately wants to go. Even though she feels like she may even feel like she's not going in the right direction and doesn't care. That is for a reason as well. It's not just about the rebellion. It's about the lessons that we're going to learn while we're in that phase, because we really haven't built that up to this point. So we need to do that to gain the lesson, to get forward. And that's ultimately where they're going. So a bit of a healing process, but nonetheless, there's people that surround and activities abound. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So hopefully over the Valentine's holiday, I'm going to say it as a holiday, but over that time, there's good things there for you. And again, this may not manifest over that month. It may be a little after, it may linger after, but nonetheless, I feel like there's no pinpointed direction, so it's just all open, just kind of in the dating zone, and that's where I'm going to sit for a while, not hanging off of anything too harshly, kind of taking things light and going in the directions that I feel, and rebelling nonetheless. So for the Sagittarian female in a single situation, this is the reading for February of 2018. Take care. Happy Valentine's Day. Be kind and have fun.